Welcome to the 126th episode of Retrotopia. I am your host for this week, Brian, and we are going back to the era of the NES this week on a game that I guess the guys or the fellas never heard about before. It's called Rygar. It's a little side-scrolling, I guess, action RPG almost, available on the NES on Switch Online if you want to give it a shot. We had some pleasant thoughts about it, I believe. Now, if you're just here for the game chat, you can head about 20 to 25 minutes down the road. But we hope you stay because we enjoy these intros. We have a couple of questions sections, we have the choose one, lose one, and this week being Rygar and a lot of people seemingly not knowing what it is, it's not going to be a super in-depth intro, but I'm going to do it anyways. First, before we begin though, I do have to get our plugs out, so if you could rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts there, that would help us out, it helps us grow. If you want to find our social medias or our Dashery store, you can go to linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. We do have new designs in the Dashery store. You can get there directly at retrotopia.dashery.com. Or there's a link in the description of this podcast. We also have a Patreon, and it is free to join, and you get a lot for the free tier. You get to take part in the polls, get to chat with the host, get to write in about the game of the week, you get to write to the host in the 9-bit banter box, you get a quick play episodes, which is just a short review series we got, and you get Retro Bites Neo, the show that Joe and I do 15 days early, and Joe's actually added an extra topic to it, so good job. There's a little bit more for you Patreons on the Retro Bites. Now, we also have the Hero tier for $2 a month. You can select a game to be reviewed by a host of your choice for a quick play. You also get New Game Plus, the show where we basically take games that otherwise don't fit inside the scope of retro video games, and we review those, and you also get shoutouts. Now that all that's out of the way, I guess it's time we do something culturally elegant, and we go into the 9-bit banter box. First up, we have Mr. Blobbert Blobbertson, who says, Brianimal, what is your favorite jelly and or jam flavor? I am a raspberry guy. I'm very much, when I have my PB&Js, it's very much raspberry jam for me, all the way. Now, I do like a good strawberry now and then, and the orange marmalade is not too bad, but if I had to default, raspberry. Thank you very much. Now I want a PB&J sandwich. You know what? I'm going to go get one. I'm an adult. I can do that. Alright, next up we got Philip, My Mouth with Farts. He says, Hi Brian, if you could bring back one arcade game from the 90s into modern time consoles, what would it be and why is it Simpsons the arcade game? Well, that's a really great question. That's a bit of a thinker. Yeah, Simpsons the arcade game would be high up on the list. I would also bring back either the X-Men, the 4-person beat-em up, or Turtles in Time, the arcade. I played that a couple of years ago now with a buddy down his way, and he's a big fella, and I'm not too small myself, so there is no way you can fit 4 adults in one of those arcades anymore. But if I had to pick one, there was, that's actually probably the 80s, which is really dating me, but I remember there was a very loosely remember because I was young, a convenience store, and they had this Superman arcade in there, and I remember playing it, and it was, Superman 64 sucks ass. Well, this was actually a pretty good side-scrolling Superman beat-em-up game, and I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember you could fly around, and I've always wanted to find that arcade game again, just to give it another shot to see if I just have, nostalgia glasses, or if it's actually, a really decent game as I thought. So I've been looking for what it's called, and I could probably just look it up now, but yeah, it's not as fun as searching for the game. So I go to Barcades, hopefully one day I'll run into it, but yeah, my choices I'm going to say for the 90s, either the Turtles or the X-Men 4-person beat-em-up cabinets. Those would be the way to go. That or Cruisin' USA, the one where you got the steering wheel. Those were always fun, sitting in the cockpit of a car and driving around with absolutely no control. Oh, there was also one back when arcades were still a thing. It was Initial D, the Japanese drifting anime. And you could actually drift down the hill in the tofu car from the main character, whose name escapes me right now. And that was a fun game, because I always loved drifting and racing games. So I would go that one, the Initial D arcade game, but that might be 2000, so it might not fit the bill. You know what? I'm all over the place. Just bring back arcades. Let's go with that, and we'll agree to that. Thanks very much. Next up, we got Hooli the Destructor. He says, Brian, what brand is your microwave? Do you prefer a toaster oven? How do you feel about air fryers? We need to know. My brand of microwave is LG right now. Life's Good. That's apparently what it stands for. And it's a pretty good microwave. My mom got it for me when we moved into the house as a housewarming gift. It cooks real well, but it has like a funky interface for the buttons and stuff like that. So, you gotta learn it, which is weird having to say you have to learn how to use a microwave. Toaster ovens I don't prefer. I prefer toasters to make toast, but we do have a Ninja 7-in-1 toaster oven, air fryer, oven, broiler, pizza maker, love maker, and all that kind of stuff. It's basically our go-to oven now. I do like air frying. We do have a deep fryer as well because there's no feeling like getting those clogged arteries from a good deep fried chicken wing. But we use the air fryer, this little oven, like religiously now because it's the three of us. We don't need to use the full oven, so we got this nice modern packed little thing, and the air fryer cooks stuff a lot quicker and it keeps it like chicken a lot more moist as opposed to drying it out. So I prefer that. I prefer something that does more than one thing nowadays. Like we want to replace our slow cooker one day, but I'm not buying a slow cooker that only slow cooks. I want a slow cooker that does 7 things, and I think Ninja has one of those too. My wife really defaults to Ninja, and I can see why. Yeah, how do I feel about air fryers? Love them. How do I feel about everything else? Love it too. I just like cooking different methods. I'm all over the map here, so I'm just going to end this comment by saying, yeah, the Ninja 7-in-1 air fryer / whatever. It's great. Thanks for the question. Next up, we have Stupid Monkey, my eternal mod life partner in the Remember the Game Discord. When was the last time you did something stupid? Yesterday. Something you should have known better. Last week, one of my pieces of toast didn't pop up enough to get out, and without thinking, I used a knife to hook it out and shocked myself. I've decided that this effect transverse time and is the reason I started going gray in the beard in my 20s. Yes, I have always known that sticking a metal object into a toaster will lead to a owie snap. So I can say I've only done that a couple of times. Now, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that, like, something like that, but yeah, there's many times in my life where I have done something and only on the moment of hindsight do I realize how stupid I was. I'm pretty sure my brother has plenty of stories to help, fill in the void here, and I should have probably contacted him to see if I could get one, but yeah, I don't think I want to relive my stupidity. I live with it every day. Sorry, I don't really have a story for this one, Monkey. I'm drawing a blank, honestly. Like, I think my body purposely represses these stupid moments so that I can carry forward in life without feeling like a absolute dumbass. So, just, I guess, a little bit of safety here from Retrotopia. Don't stick your knife in your toaster, especially when you knowingly know what's going to happen. Thanks for the question, buddy. Next up, we have Brother Retro, who says, oh, Captain, my Captain. Top 5 90s family kid movies. Mine are, in no particular order, 3 Ninjas, D2 Mighty Ducks, Heavyweights, Little Giants, Toy Story. I could watch these movies the rest of my life on repeat and never get bored. How about you, my good man? So this is a great question. I had to really, I had to pause and really think about this one because I was drawing a blank on like 5 full movies, so I just quickly Googled like 90s movies, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to keep the list at just 5. There was an amazing amount of great movies, and you nailed a couple of them, but you also forgot some big ones, like, we got Hook with Robin Williams. That was a fantastic movie. That movie can make any top 5 list. I can watch that any day of the week. If it's on TV or if it's on streaming, I'll watch it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a live-action movie. I mean, come on. How can you not watch that over and over and over again? So that would be also on my list. Jingle All the Way with Ani. He fucking nails that movie. Great comedy, great movie. Mrs. Doubtfire. This is also a great movie. Yeah, what else can I say? Robin Williams was pretty much the, mascot of my childhood. We also have, Space Jam, obviously didn't do too well in this century, or this millennia, but Space Jam was a good movie when I was a kid. What else do we got? Home Alone was in the 90s. Three Ninjas, like you mentioned. Nightmare Before Christmas is a great movie. Lion King was a great movie. If I had to pick a Disney movie that represents my life in the 90s, Lion King would be it. I got obsessed with that movie. It just resonated with me. Alright, so I got to pick my top 5. Well, not my top 5. In no particular order, I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have Hook. I have a Goofy movie. I have The Lion King. And I need to pick one more. I'm really going to think about this as I scroll through a list of movies now because I just can't think of the fifth one. Jingle All the Way or Kindergarten Cop. One of those two, because I know I'm going 6 here, but I think those are going to be my answers. So yeah, that's in no particular order. Those are my top 5 90s movies that if I saw them on a streaming service or if I still had TV and was flipping through the channels, I'd stop flipping and I'd start watching because they had great movies. So many great movies from the 90s. You know what? If you want to leave your list of your top 5 90s family kids movies in the Discord if you're in there. And if you're not in the Discord, jump on in the Discord. And yeah, you can do that as well. All right, moving on to our final question. This one comes from The Big Deal, and he is tapping into my best game ever, Chrono Trigger. And he says, in all the time traveling Chrono and the gang did, they couldn't have once just brought some food with them to 2300 AD. I'm pretty sure I spent half the game carrying around spice jerky and couldn't offer any of it to those starving people in the future. Chrono is a real spice jerk, if you ask me. Now let's hear you call out a plot hole in one of your favorite games. Okay, I misread this and really prepared myself for a Chrono Trigger discussion. Let's do some plot holes in Chrono Trigger then. This might take a minute, so bear with me, because there's a lot of philosophies and paradoxes that Chrono Trigger covers. Like immediately right off the game, you have the grandfather paradox. And by that is Marl, the Princess Nadia, as you later find out, goes into the past and gets mistaken for the queen, and ergo Queen Lene gets killed and was never, Marl was never born, ergo she can never go into the past to, get kidnapped. So creates this gigantic ass grandfather paradox, just like that Futurama episode where Fry turns out to be his own grandpa. This also brings up the thing where you have the mutable timeline where Chrono and the gang don't actually exist in the timeline itself simply because they don't get affected by it. So even though they go to the past, they rescue Marl, and they come back to the present, or their present, and things change, they still have a memory of exactly what things were and what has changed. So they live kind of outside the effects of time travel. That's like Marty McFly in Back to the Future. You also have butterfly effect, butterfly flaps its wings in one side of the world, it causes a typhoon in the other. There's also when you go think about Magus there, and he's trying to draw Lavos out from the year 12,000 BC. I think it's called the predestination paradox. It's where an event in the future causes something in the past that leads to the same event in the future, so it's a gigantic loop. So by causing the effects of Lavos appearing in the year 600 AD, by opening a portal to 12,000 BC, he creates the events at which gets him sucked into a portal to 600 AD, and it just becomes a never-ending loop. So he's the cause of his own effect, or he's the effects of his own. I can't think of how I want to say that, so I'm just going to say blah. Think of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Time travel events already occurred in the timeline, so that's basically what this is going with. You could also argue that Lavos arriving is what's it called? I have it written here as a fixed point problem where certain events are too fundamental to history to be changed without destroying the timeline. So if Lavos doesn't appear, does the planet actually evolve the way it did? Because in 65 million BC, the reptiles were dominant in there, and it wasn't until Lavos showed up that they no longer became dominant, and humans evolved into the magic, magic floating island people, and then eventually to who they became the year 1000. This I'd say similar media to this one be Doctor Who, which refers to these as fixed points in time. And I'll end this all on the future, because the year 2300 AD, the entirety of the game is focused around the idea that when Chrono, Marl, and Luca go to the future, they see Lavos and the machine after seeing the entire, desolate dystopian future. They meet Robo. Robo tells them kind of what's up, and they decide at this point to fix the future. They are going to stop Lavos. Now, this would create an alternate timeline, because this future has already happened. Their future has already happened. So by changing the past, they don't actually change this future. They create a branching timeline. And this is kind of like what Avengers was talking about with the Infinity Stones and all that kind of good crap. But yeah, they could have probably better have done. You know what? This is what I love about paradoxes, like time paradoxes, and this is probably what draws me to the Chrono Trigger story. Had they went back to the year 1000, gathered up a whole bunch of food, and brought it to the year 2300, and just started feeding people, would that really have caused, fix things? Because that would be a better solution to keep the timeline on track than, changing the future, because the other problem is the planet is ruined by Lavos, so the entirety of the planet, you can't grow stuff, so that was the big thing. And yeah, they would have to continuously feed food from the year 1000, which, is going to increase their need for food production and time machine building abilities. Since considering there's only one way to get to the future, and that's the epoch, or in the gates if you have the gate key. So it is what it is. I just don't like that you're trying to poke holes in my precious Chrono Trigger. I mean, there's a couple more philosophies you could go with on here, and it's one of the original ideas I had, and I think I sent it back to Unbuckled Cape way before both of us were doing a podcast. Actually, he might have already started his. And it was an entire podcast idea about the paradoxes you could find in Chrono Trigger. And I never released it because it was way, way back in the day when I just read stuff off of paper, and it sounded, I believe somebody said it sounded like a Wikipedia article. So I do want to explore this. If you'd like me to explore this, let me know, because I still want to do it, and I get self-conscious because Unbuckled's made me nervous about talking about my precious Chrono Trigger. But that's it. That's all the questions we have. I want to thank everybody for the questions again this week. Hopefully it was entertaining enough. I'm doing this early on a Friday morning, and I am about 3 sips into my coffee, so I hope I was good enough. I might sound a little bit flat because, yeah, I am kind of still groggy from the sleep. But with that, we're going to move on to choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
So we had a few on this week's Choose One, Lose One, obviously being Rygar again. Not a lot of people seem to know about this game, so we only got the 3, and I'm going to take yours and spend a little extra time making sure that the punishment fits the reward. So first up, we got Brother Retro. He says, Crown Power for Ultimate Enemy Demolition. Now, I think you're thinking of the arcade version of Rygar, which is different than the NES version of Rygar. I don't believe the NES version calls it Crown Power, or if it does call it Crown Power, it is kind of broken up into separate entities, so you can have your precious arcade crown power, but you have to have a crown to do it, and the only way to get a crown is to kill a king, so say hi to Alan while you visit Great Britain. So, yeah. Next up, we have Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He says, I would like to wear red pants. You get to wear your red pants, buddy. They are the best looking red pants that have ever been worn by anybody, with a little extra bulge in there, if you know what I mean. Only problem is red pants are now out of style, and no matter where you go, they laugh at you for your red pants because, well, that's so last season. Next up, we have Mr. Blobbertson, or Blobbertstein, excuse me. He says, all I know of Rygar is that there is a shield. He would like one shield, please. You get your shield, and you get the Rygar shield, so it's on a string, and you get to throw your Rygar shield out there, or as they call it in the game, the disc shield, which is a dumb name. However, this shield must be with you at all times, and you can only throw it straight forward. You can't throw it up, you can't throw it in a slight angle. Just straight ahead, and every time you go to point, give directions. Every time you raise your arm to scratch your head, as soon as your arm becomes parallel with the ground, foof, out goes your shield. Yeah, be careful when you scratch your nuts now. Oh, yeah. Alright, that's all we got for Choose One, Lose One. Thank you, everybody, for playing, as always. I know Rygar isn't exactly the deepest well of stuff to choose for the game, but you guys came through like you always did. And speaking of coming through, it is time for Alan, who you've been waiting for this whole time, for the Gentleman's Interlude.
Hear now the tale of Rygar. Not merely a game, but a myth etched into silicon and shadow. In the year 1987, from the halls of Tecmo, there emerged a reimagining of their 1986 arcade creation. A transformation, not a translation. Released first in Japan on April 17, 1987, and soon after in North America in July of that same year for the Nintendo Entertainment System, this was no simple port. It was reborn. Behold, Argul, a land broken, haunted by the looming evil of Ligar. From death itself rises the warrior, Rygar, summoned not by fate, but by necessity. His weapon? The Diskarmor, a chained shield singing through the air like a blade of destiny. But listen closely, for this NES incarnation dares to do what its arcade ancestor did not. Gone is the simple march of left to right. In its place, an odyssey, a world of towering cliffs, labyrinthine caves, and sacred temples. The player does not merely survive, they explore, they ascend, they gather strength, wisdom, and sacred items from the 5 Indora gods, each gift a key, each step a trial. And yet, there is cruelty in this legend. No saving grace, no password, no mercy. To journey through Rygar is to commit, to leave the console glowing through the night, a vigil against oblivion. A single mistake and the saga returns to its beginning. Such was the cost of heroism in 1987. Crafted and published by Tecmo, the NES version stands apart as an early fusion of action and adventure, what many would later recognize as the seeds of the action RPG genre. So remember this, listener. Rygar is not just a warrior. He is persistence made flesh. He is challenge given form. He is the echo of an era where victory was earned, not saved. And in the flicker of an 8-bit dawn, his legend still endures.
All right, thank you, Alan, for that, as always, great gentleman's interlude. And it's time for you, the listener, to weigh in on the game of the week. And we are going to start with Brother Retro says, I actually just recently played this for the first time ever after scooping up a copy on eBay. I actually enjoyed it. It's no Ninja Gaiden, but not the worst platformer I've played. 6.5 out of 10. Jammy Dodgers from this fella. Well, way to ruin all of our scores. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, Brian, you clearly made up this game. I'm impressed that you even created a Wikipedia page for it. Yeah. Sometimes I put in the extra effort to make sure that you guys get top quality lies. And finally, we have Hooli the Destructor, who says, what the fuck is a Rygar? Well, Hooli, we're going to find that out now, because with a little bit of music here, we are going to be talking about Rygar, developed by Tecmo, published by Tecmo, released in May of 1986 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and very specifically for the Nintendo Entertainment System, because as you'll find out, there is a difference. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. So, we are coming off a banger of an episode, and what do? We decided to pick a game that apparently not a lot of people have heard about, or those that have heard about it have never played it. So, this week we are talking Rygar for the NES system, not to be confused with Rygar for the Sega Master System, because that is a completely different game apparently, because the port to the Nintendo Entertainment System added a lot more stuff than the arcade or the other ports did. And joining me from Wisconsin, weighing in at undisclosed amount because he could be used to blackmail him, is Sam.
Hey.
And coming across the pond, speaking with a funny accent over in Britain land, is our good buddy Alan. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
I have no game-related intro this time.
No, that was awesome. No, I like that. That was brilliant. Yeah, no, good. Just talking a game that I definitely fall into the camp of have never heard of it before. So,
see, I'm in the camp of have heard of it, never played it. Even owned a copy and still never played it.
Oh, wow, you owned a copy? Damn. I hadn't even heard of this until it came to Switch Online.
I'd never heard of this until Brian mentioned it. Oh, you mean I could have played this on
Switch Online? Damn.
You didn't?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a game I've always wanted to play. It has like this interesting concept where, like, I always thought it was just a platformer, but they added like RPG elements into it, and then they did a top-down view kind of world map you can walk around, which is actually what was added from the arcade version of the game. So this is actually a unique experience. So I guess we could get right into the history of the game, which I assume is nothing for any of us. I think we just mentioned it.
First time I ever heard of this was when you put it on the schedule. I was like, what the fuck is that? But fortunately, it was on Nintendo Switch Online, so I was like, okay, well, that's nice and easy. I'll play it there. And you know what? Definitely more than meets the eye with this one, I gotta say.
It was a surprise. Oh, you, Sam, you said you've never heard of it either, right?
No, not until it went on Switch Online. I think it was with one of the initial drops of tons. I mean, the NES is the one that has by far the most games on it, I think. And it's got so much random weird stuff on it. And yeah, I was interested in it, but had never played it before or heard of it until I saw it there first.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for me, like I said, I knew of this game a long time ago. I always saw it in the rental stores. I owned a copy when I rebuilt my NES collection, and it was always fairly cheap to buy, and most I ever played of it was like the first 10 seconds where you throw that, what do they call it, the Diskarmor, the shield that you have a rope attached to.
Yeah.
And that's his weapon. So let's get into I guess, the mismatched story of the game, or the idea of the game, because I was reading up on this game, and it turns out Rygar and the enemy, the main boss Ligar, is actually spelt the same in Japanese, and it's just the way the kanji characters work is the first two letters can be spelled either RY or LI, hence why you got the two names. So the enemy main boss is actually supposed to be called either Rygar or Ligar, and the hero is called the Legendary Warrior. However, in the mistranslation, as often happened back then, they named the hero Rygar of the game, and they kept the enemy's name as Ligar. So that I found to be absolutely bonkers for an NES game to misquote or mistranslate something, because that never happened back then.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
right.
I am error.
At least not for, every 5 minutes. But, yeah, so this game actually does have a story, but I'm going to have to pull out the game manual because I don't think I can remember the story, because it is so weird. I'm going to read this verbatim so you guys can, get comfortable, drink your beers or whatever. Here we go. Once there was a holy place called Argul, which was founded by 5 legendary Indora gods. One day, suddenly the blackest tragedy happened. The prosperous holy place, Argul, was attacked by the troops of the cruel king called Ligar. The sky of the holy place was completely covered with a flying castle of Ligar and his army of dangerous beasts. These animalized soldiers come down from the sky and committed the most atrocious cruelties. In a single day, they established a kingdom of evil. In addition, Ligar took away the door to peace, symbolizing the peace that had been created by Indora. The hope for peace disappeared with the loss of the door to peace, and the people of Argul ceased to smile and can only pray for salvation. They prayed an ancient passage to counter the fulfilled prophecy of Ligar's evil reign of terror. The legend says when the peaceful land is covered with evil spirits, a brave soldier will be brought to life from the dead for the purpose of saving persecuted people. The people of Argul's painful prayers were so loud that it reverberated through the mountains, traveled a long distance to the land of Algosu, and at last Rygar, the hero, came back from the dead in order to restore the peace of the land of Argul, battling the forces of evil everywhere. So joined forces with Rygar. That is the story of the game. That is the only place you're going to get the story of the game, is the book.
That sounds like such a translation, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is so bad. Like, it is hard to read that. The reason I read it out loud and verbatim is because I've been trying to read it and wrap my head around it, and it just hasn't been making sense. So the whole thing is people aren't smiling.
Well,
Okay.
it's just kind of your evil overlord has come and taken over a peaceful land. It's Ganondorf, it's so-and-so. It's just like, it doesn't really matter. I did not know that I was playing as a dead guy, though. That's interesting.
No, that's new to me. And I get the razor-thin plot here is nothing to the story. You're just literally taking control of a character and running where it tells you to. But yeah, they tried to shoehorn something in there.
Just point me at a boss and just let me go.
That's pretty much what it was. But that's how the game starts. The game starts with you on the mountainside. You have your disc shield, or whatever it's called, gunblade, I suppose. We'll call it a dumb weapon with a hybrid name.
Right.
But that thing goes only forward in the side-scrolling platform level. So all you can do is throw it forward, and that's what you use to attack enemies. And you can also jump on enemies, and that's how the game starts. I don't know where to go from here. I'm hoping one of you has an idea, because
the interesting thing is, like, the jumping doesn't really, it just kind of stuns the enemy for a moment. So you can kind of jump on stuff and freeze, to get your bearings. I don't know. I thought this was interesting. Like, I thought it was just going to be this kind of standard, side-scrolling action game. Like when we played, what was that, Shadow of the Ninja, where you just, it's not
that was just like such a clone of Ninja Gaiden.
But not even. It was just kind of not a deep game, and like it was Ninja Gaiden if you couldn't like climb the walls or whatever. So that's kind of what I thought this was going to be. It was like, oh, it's a side scroller, and we actually started talking about this a while ago, playing this for the show, and I was trying it out, and it was like I hadn't even gotten to the overworld map of Garlos, or whatever the hell they call that, and I was just like, yeah, this is just going to be a standard side scroller. And then the first time I walked through that door and got to that overworld, I was like, holy shit, there's like a whole top-down element to this. So this is kind of more like a, I don't know, you want to call it like a Zelda 2 almost, where you...
Action RPG.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
And I didn't realize
It-
at first that you were like, as you were killing stuff, you were gaining experience points. So to
I
speak.
didn't either.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that's not part of the original game. The arcade version of this game doesn't have that top-down stuff. It is a straight platforming side-scroller. There's none of the RPG elements. You're just sitting there getting score.
Well, that sounds boring. I'm glad that they did
Yeah.
it for this.
Yeah, so yeah, they revamped the game for the NES.
Yeah,
And-
it's a great effect.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, is it crazy to sort of squint and look sideways and say, actually, there's a little bit of perhaps a Metroidvania in here as well? I mean,
Well, it's
You go to
it's
play-
actually been called like the bones of a Metroidvania.
I would
early
agree.
version of it.
I would agree. Like, I started playing this, and right from the off, I mean, I love that weapon. You know, it kind of had shades of the whip from Castlevania. So right away, I'm like, okay, you know, I feel comfortable with this. And then you just have to go to like different places. Oh, and you need an item to get through to this bit, but you'll find that later on. So you're gonna have to come back and use that to get further in this part. And I'm just like, hang on, is this a Metroidvania? And I was just like, at that point, I was like, okay, right. I mean, this is not only not what I was expecting, but this is better than I was expecting.
Okay, so that means if it came before Metroidvanias, then all Metroidvanias are just Rygars.
Yeah.
Yes, Yep.
Why not?
that's
Fuck
what
it.
we're gonna.
I mean,
okay,
credit where it's due.
that's what we're gonna call them from now on. Okay, now the official term for a quote unquote Metroidvania for our podcast is Rygars.
I love it.
That's not going to confuse anybody.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm already confused.
Yeah, no. Anytime we play a Metroidvania, we're gonna call it a Rygar. Vania.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Metroidvania.
Now, my biggest problem with the disc shield or the shield arm or the gun blade or whatever the fuck you want to call it is that you can only throw it forward. I kind of really wish you could like swing it upwards or something. I mean, it's on a fucking rope. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you'd be able to throw it in multiple directions, but you can never do that. You can only do it straight ahead, and that was the biggest downfall of it. Other than that, it was a neat looking weapon.
I mean, I guess, but I never really found it to be a detriment. It's just...
I never said detriment. I said it would be cooler if they did it.
Sure, but it's just like, not a lot of stuff was really attacking from above, so...
Oh,
But there
I
are
beg
so
to
many
differ.
enemies on the screen.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah, this game does not fuck about with, and...
Oh, and since it's an NES game, it's one of those ones where if you move a pixel over, all the enemies reset, so they're just like bombarding you, and you have to sit there and fucking take them all out. But you can level up so fast by not moving because all these enemies are just like bum rushing you, and you get
Yeah, they just
your level ups just by killing
yeah
them.
they
that's
just
what I did. I
generate.
just-
You just sit
Yeah,
there.
I would just hunker down, like, especially in that sort of underground area. I would just hunker down in a corner and just keep spamming. And the fact that you could level up your health, and I'm pretty sure like your weapon gets stronger as well as you go.
It does, yeah.
It's just like the fact that there were so many enemies. It made grinding in this game just a breeze.
It wasn't even grinding. It was just kind of showing up.
Yeah.
Like it seems like the leveling would be very instrumental to what they were trying to do here, but it was done in such a mediocre way. You didn't even notice you were doing it for the longest time. I didn't notice I was leveling up until after I found the overworld and did a couple of extra stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only found out that I was getting stronger because I was seeing more health little bubbles appear on the top of the screen. I was
Yeah,
like,
and that's the only way you know you get stronger is those health things. Unless you hit the start menu, and that's where you get your information
Yeah.
of. I think you have two types, tone and last.
yes.
Oh, I had
So you get
no
two
idea
types
what
of
that meant.
points. Tone is your attack, and last is your health.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
well, there you go.
and then there was a mind meter also. And I think now I'm reading up on some of these powers he has. There's like an attack and a sail that does like damage to everyone on the screen. I could not get that to work, but I'm seeing that you could only use it a certain amount of times in the game. So I might have like wasted all mine before the end.
Right at the beginning.
Just on accident.
What does this button do? Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, it's
boom.
like
Oh, I'm out of
I
nukes.
basically dropped the nuke like on the first screen and then like didn't have it for the rest of the game.
I call that the streets of rage, when you accidentally press the button to have the police car come in, and because you can't remember which one it is, so you're always sending them in when it's just like one enemy on the screen. It's like, well, fuck me, I guess. I mean, I'll be honest, like, there are, 3 spells that you can use in this game, and by and large, like, I think I only really used the one, which was to refill your health bar, but it does take an awful lot. So these enemies, as you're clobbering them, will drop every once in a while. They're pretty stingy with them, but they'll drop these little stars that when you pick up, that will be your, mind meter. And you need quite a lot of them to refill your health bar. So that's really the one that I focused on the most. I think there was one that boosted your attack power. I'm not sure. I think that was the other one. But yeah, because this game was just so balls to the wall with the amount of enemies it throws at you, it's like I was just spamming that health bar as much as I could.
Yeah, no, it's I used it only a couple of times, but you're right. Like, you had to find those little star things, and you could find them with 1 or 2, and the 2 ones are supposed to be rare, but I found those more than I found the 1-star like refills.
Oh,
I don't know why. Maybe I just lucked out and the random number generator was on my side, but it definitely was having a good time when I went.
I was grateful to you for bringing this to everyone's attention.
But thanks, Dick. Anyways, there's also 5 items you have to get to progress throughout the game, because Alan said you get to a point and there you can't continue and you have to go back later in your Rygarvania. And the first one is something that we complained about last week, which actually is pretty good in this game, and that is a grappling hook.
Nobody. There's like a pulley and then there's a crossbow. Oh, the grappling hook.
Yeah, well, we'll get to those ones. The grappling hook,
yep.
the one. Yeah, you shoot it into a blank space in the air and you catch a platform like just by guessing, and then you climb up there.
Yeah.
But I like the grappling hook because part of the game is you climb up ropes to get to the next level, and some of the blockages are you can't climb up because you don't have a rope, and that's what the grappling hook does.
Well,
it's
the funny thing about the items in this game is like, how many times can you come up with like a different form of grappling or suspension over water or whatever? Like it's a grappling hook, a pulley, and then a crossbow. But the crossbow you don't shoot, you just like shoot out a rope and then pulley up the rope. It's like just different. I don't know, it's almost as if like Zelda had a hook shot, but like 3 different types of hook shot.
Yeah.
So the first time I got to the overworld, I was walking and I saw the rope to cross the river, and it was so dumb because all I had to do was walk around the canyon, which literally was in the same screen. Right. It would have taken me 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. I'm like, fuck that, I'm taking this rope, and I walked off the cliff and died. Yep.
Even with the pulley, you can do that. It was so hard to latch onto those ropes in the overworld.
Pinpoint accuracy.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
The knack for suspending a wind pulley from a rope successfully is to approach near the rope and move vertically. So, hint, near the waist of Rygar. So, what the manual is telling you to do is to like line up your Rygar sprite at waist level with the rope and just kind of like move up, like press up to move up vertically, and then it'll click in. But I mean,
and the fact that the game manual had to tell you that is kind of telling that maybe they should have spent an extra few minutes there figuring this out.
It's so fucking janky. And the guide that I was
pressing
using
every directional button just to try and latch on.
I know, I was just rotating my D-pad, and then it would click in, and then it would click off, and I was like, fuck! I'd have to try and do it again. And the guide I was using was like, just walk up and down, like up and down and whatever, but that doesn't really solve the problem either, because you could walk up and down over this rope forever, and if you're not doing exactly what the game wants you to do, you're not clicking on. I would sit there for like a couple minutes trying to like click onto this rope.
And I tell you what the problem with that was. is that I spent so long trying to figure this out in the overworld that when you actually get into the 2D sections, it has these ropes going across as well that you have to latch onto. And I was making a meal out of those ones and just literally just falling off the rope and into the pit. When in the 2D sections, all you need to do is keep walking right and he'll latch on automatically. But I got so panicked from my experience in the overworld that I was just screwing myself over with it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely a odd... I don't know. I mean, I
do appreciate that the pulley goes upwards because it would suck if the only thing you could do was go down in this game since there's so many times you use a pulley to go up a mountain.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but you also find that coat of arms, and you have to get that coat of arms to be able to get potions from what are they're called the Endora's gods. They're like you walk into a door and this like dude praying on a pedestal, and he gives you like advice or hint to carry on the game. There's 5 of them you got to find to get these items, and the coat of arms, its only purpose is when you find another one with medicine, they'll actually give you the medicine. You can actually carry a bottle of medicine around. So I thought that was kind of lame.
I don't know, like I only found that out towards the end of the game, and I was just like, oh shit, like I really could do with that. That saves me a lot of grinding to get that healing spell. So it's like, okay, well, you know, that's kind of handy, I guess. You kind of have to think to go back to them and remember where they are in order to find them.
Yeah.
Those guys were fucking hench, though, weren't they? Like,
oh my god, Jesus, fucking muscle daddies.
Yeah.
Sitting up there, friggin' legs crossed, fists together. They're just fucking yum.
Yeah.
They'd be like, tell you what, can I play as you instead? Rygar is kind of puny.
Yeah, right. Like, Rygar is this tiny little sprite compared to these, like, fucking muscle daddies. And, you know, you're just like, dude, why can't you fucking solve the problems? You look like you're shredded.
And there's a ton
like
of
20 of them as well.
Yeah.
And what's that health potion made out of? Protein powder?
Definitely.
Just a little army of muscle guys.
Did you guys look at the sprite of the health things very deeply? Because I don't think they put a lot of effort into them because they look like butt plugs.
I can't say that I noticed that.
They kind of do, I guess. Yeah. Rygar.
Yeah, just like thin at the bottom and it has a little stopper so it doesn't go all the way in your pooper.
Yep. Rygar has to sit on them. So
cracks in the old butthole and is like, I feel better.
It's a suppository.
Good news.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Going back to because there was something I wanted to say about the hook shot or whatever, the grappling hook.
Grappling hook. Hook shots are cool. Grappling hooks are hit or miss depending on what game we're talking about this week.
True enough. And while I did like it, there are a couple of things about it that just like, I mean, first of all, like it was very trial and error as to where you could use it to get up. And I am not a smart man. So it took me a long time to figure out that, if I just shoot it up in this random point of the screen, I can go up. Fair enough. But my main problem with the grappling hook is that you have to crouch and use attack to go down. And if you're crouching and using attack to hit an enemy, you're just going to go down on the grappling hook. So it's just like, I appreciate that they did a lot to make these, like, traversal items so you don't have to swap them out, which would have sucked. But it does kind of every once in a while just interfere with the flow of gameplay. A little bit.
It does, but I also loved, like, you didn't know where you're going, and you just, like, hang off the bottom of the platform there, and you go to the next screen to see if there's something you can jump on, and then you're like, nope. Back up you go, move over a few sprites, and then try it again.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I hated that, too, because you really sometimes want to just crouch down and throw your disc, but when I kind of... I don't know.
I'm old enough that every time I do crouch down, I throw a disc.
Well done, sir. But there is a little bit of strategy involved, and once you get the grappling hook, I was finding that, especially for the enemies that shoot projectiles, you could just kind of like dip down under the plane that you were standing on, let that whatever projectile pass over you, and then crawl back up and then hit them a couple times, like. You know, like it just kind of changes the way that you duck if you're like up in branches.
Oh my god! Are you telling me that is the solution for those weird slug-looking things on the branches that constantly fire at you?
No. You know what my solution was? I just took advantage of the jankiness of this game, and I would go slightly
moved
off
left.
frame, and they would just disappear, and then I would come back, and they were gone.
Sometimes
Yep.
that worked, and then sometimes it was just like they were so stubborn. They just like, nope, you're gonna have to deal with me, and I am literally on the exact other side of this jump that you need to make. So, good luck with that.
Yeah.
No, I do like how the enemies actually, like, if you look at wikis and stuff like that, the enemies have like a defense level that tells you how hard they are going to be to beat. So, you know, the more you level up, obviously, the easier they're going to be to kill, which really adds like an interesting element to this game. So it's not just, you know, you remember how many times you have to hit the red guy in order to knock him out, because red usually means stronger. After a while, he's going to become as easy as their green counterparts. That was really well done, in my opinion.
100%, because when you're going back to some of these areas, and you have to, it's always rewarding when something that was giving you difficulty before, you're just mowing them down, and that is to this game's credit.
I love when a game rewards you through your gameplay and the hard work and leveling up, that when you go back, you just fuck shit up.
Don't you hate
all that
it?
stuff that gave you struggles at the beginning is now your bitch, and I love that. That for me, that is like the best feeling in the game. Like Ghost of Yotai there, when you start the game, you got one sword. By the end of it, you're friggin' an arsenal. And those enemies at the beginning that you had to be very cautious with, you're just walking up and stabbing.
Yes. I mean,
this game does the same thing.
Fuck things leveling up with your character. I want to be a god by the end of the game.
Another shot at Final Fantasy VIII.
Well, I think...
First of all, fuck you. Carry on. There is no second of all.
I think the leveling up really was significant too. It wasn't just like, oh, you get slightly higher attack power. There were bosses where just like I was struggling for quite a bit, and then just if I went out and did a little bit of grinding and actually leveled up a bit, like you come back and it's like, oh, this is no problem. What was I worried about before?
Yes. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bosses. Which one do you think was the most funky design?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, the spider was kind of lame.
The spider was lame, but you got two-headed turtle. You got weird double eye poop thing. You have dancing bull. You have double-headed dragon, and you have lion head dragon hands.
I mean, the dragon and the like two-headed poop thing, as you so eloquently put it, are pretty much the same thing. I guess the final boss.
That's what it looks like.
Two-headed poop thing is so accurate too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and
that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
but the final boss is hilarious. Yeah, the final boss Ligar is the lion-headed happy dragons.
Oh, he's a fuckface.
Oh, they are happy. Look at them. I didn't notice that while we were playing it, but they look like they're having a whale of a time. Oh, I feel bad that I killed them now.
I mean,
yeah, and he wasn't that hard of a final boss.
No, not at all.
Oh, maybe I didn't level up. I might have rushed through it and not leveled up enough because I had a tough time with it, but I wasn't maxed out.
Oh, maybe. Like I walked up and it just came down to like, you know, in a wrestling match there, and the two wrestlers start just by punching each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that's all it turned into. And then I was the one who knocked him down and then hit the finisher.
Yeah, I probably needed to grind up more.
I mean, I sort of ground to maximum level, and my technique in the end game was pretty much just like stand in front of the thing and keep clobbering it. If my health gets low, just spam that spell, and then just keep clobbering, and that worked pretty well for most of them, except for that.
Like I had a harder time getting to him than I did beating him.
That little castle kind of sucks. Like the enemies, like not so much. I mean, it's a maze, which isn't terrible, but like the enemies in it are just complete fuckfaces.
Yeah, the shadow beast, as the wiki calls them.
I mean, they just you get on a screen with two of them, and they're firing projectiles at you pretty rapidly and moving back and forth, and the screen just completely chugs. It's so bad.
It slows
slow down is so
much.
bad.
I love Nintendo for that. I love when you get onto a screen with too many enemies there, and it's just like you can hear the processing power just struggle.
Yeah, it's
crazy. But you know what makes me laugh? that maze, that final Sky Palace maze, there's one of them fucking buff monk things in there. Like, what the fuck are you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Just get up off your ass and help me.
Doesn't he give
You
you
are literally sitting pretty.
He gives you like a potion or something, right?
Yeah. Which is useful,
Your last
don't get me
potion
wrong,
before.
but you'll have to use it by the time you get to him because you've lost most of your health.
Well, no
getting there.
kidding. I skipped even going there because I was like, I don't even want to deal with all the enemies that are on the way to just get this guy. And then obviously you come back the way you came and you fight all the same enemies again. It's like, well, I've just lost it.
Yeah, what was the point of that?
Yeah, I just tried to rush through as quick as I could. If I didn't have to like super battle an enemy, I just kind of, football thingy around them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's a good technique.
Yeah, so that's my technique in most video games. If I don't have to fight, I don't. I'm a video game pacifist.
Most of the time.
If I had a critique, I'd say for the most part, the enemies are mostly, I'd say one, two, three, 4 of the 6 bosses are basically the same fucking thing. Like, it's a 2-headed thing firing projectiles at you, and that's pretty much it.
I would say most of them are kind of simple, kind of easy, except for that fucking. I'm looking at it now. Durago.
Oh, fuck that
bull-headed thing.
Bull-headed dancing bull.
What the hell was
red
that?
piece of shit? Oh my god! And I was like, and this is where I really found that the controls weren't all that tight sometimes, because you have to like move around it in a clockwise direction to avoid all the shit that it's spewing at you. And then as I was going up over the top of him, I would like really quick point Rygar down and hit him once and then continue on. And there were times when like I wasn't, I was definitely decidedly pressing down and B to like hit that, attack button, and it would just not do anything. I was just like, fuck. And then I would like, all right, fine. Around I go again. And then there were times when like he would get hit and I was like, there's nothing around me. Am I crazy? And I would hit the rewind and like look again, like, let's watch the replay. And it's like, oh my God, there's nothing close to me. And he's still getting hit. Like, so I don't know if it was like some sort of a flicker or something where there's too much on screen and like one of those little eyeball bats disappears. But yeah, there's some bullshit.
That sounds right. I can't prove it, but that sounds right.
Yeah, it's just like,
but that's classic NES.
Go to that instant replay. Now that we have, this is like playing the NES now with Switch Online is like having instant replay in professional sports. It's like, let's go, let's watch the tape. Like upon further review, there was nothing there. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's the one that caused me literally the most amount of trouble. And yeah, it lulls you into a full sense of security because a lot of these bosses are quite easy. I mean, that first one gave me some trouble because he's kind of just marching across the screen, this 2-headed lion, turtle, fucking whatever. And he's firing he's firing these projectiles at you. And on one side of the screen, you've got that platform that you can use to avoid most of his attacks. And I guess the idea is to do as much damage when he's coming towards you that way and then jump over him using his platform. But then when you're on the other side, like there is no way of getting back. So you just have to hope you can do enough damage to him before he actually gets to you. Or else you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah, and there was, I mean, if you stood close enough to him, you could vault over his, or like jump over his projectiles before they split off. Because it was like 3 that he was shooting a spread pattern.
Good.
And neither was I, but it was like that's how the guide I was playing suggested to do it. And I was like, okay. And you have to really like precision jump and just like slide your way between and get a couple hits off before you jump again.
Oh
no,
I was hopping on the platform and jumping over them. Like,
yeah, I did have to grind. I just went out because there was an enemy that would regenerate. It's like if you're having trouble, just like go in and out the door, because the weird thing about this game is like some of the bosses are in a room that you have to like enter a door, and the door is still on the left side of the screen. You could just like leave if you wanted to.
I like that.
Yeah, it's like, well, fuck this, I'm leaving. But you could just go in and out that door or go out back into the I think it was like a wooded environment with like tree branches or whatever with those little dragons flying all over the place and just fight enemies until you were stronger.
Now, you guys knew you could jump on top of that first boss, right?
Yep.
Okay. You kept
Nope.
talking about jumping over him and stuff.
Well, you jump on
it
him
would
to-
actually do damage if you,
That does damage?
like a little bit, not a lot.
I was not aware
But it
of that.
also protects you from getting hurt, and you can still hit the boss.
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
be honest with you, I completely forgot, for the most part, about jumping on enemies in this. Like, every time it happened in this game, I was like, oh, shit, yeah, I forgot I could do that. And it was always exactly when I needed it to happen. Because, just in the levels in general, when you're getting swarmed by enemies, and you're just like, oh, shit, I'm about to get hit by something, and you just bounce over them, you're just like, oh, yeah, neat. That was useful.
You know what else?
So, yes,
Yeah.
no, I did not know that.
Yeah, you know what else is odd? Is I think that Durago, that fucking red penis we were talking about, that shithead that you have to like do circles around. That's the only top down, and that's the only top down boss in the game. It's kind of odd.
Yeah.
All the other ones are side scrolling.
I'm embarrassed.
Well, it's interesting that they did that.
Embarrassed that I've only just noticed that now.
Well, I'm
I
well,
wonder.
I'm right here with you. It's only because I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't notice it? Like, that whole level's like the only top-down actual level, isn't
Yeah,
it?
because you're in that
True enough.
that castle. Like that one and the one at the end, I guess, are basically like two castles that you go into. One's a fortress, one's a castle, or whatever. Just kind of interesting. I don't know. Yeah, I like that they
Yeah.
mixed it up that way, because otherwise, like, I would imagine the rest of them are all pretty samey, and I guess maybe are part of the. I have no experience with the arcade game, but like you said, Brian, it's not. It doesn't mix the two
No, it's-
styles. So
So I watched a playthrough of the arcade game just to kind of see really what the difference was, and it is night and day. It literally is. Like, obviously, the arcade game has better graphics, simply because it had better processing power, but it's just a straight-up platformer.
Huh. I'd be
It's
interested
this,
in trying it, but I think I'd prefer this
Well, you
more.
can. It's on the Sega Master System.
well, that's so.
Well, the
so the
arcade
Master
version.
System game is just the arcade port.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is the only one that's different. The NES one is the only one that they did any kind of changes to.
That's interesting.
Oh, well
I
done,
mean, I
NES.
I prefer this. That's an interesting concept, though, that they would, they would take it and update it.
Yeah, taking the time to rebuild a game that, already has pretty much everything built for it is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I'm looking
mean-
at the arcade. This looks.
But
fucking tough.
let's switch gears to the graphics there. What did you guys think of how this game presented itself? Because there's some sceneries there. They got nice backgrounds, and for an NES game, they really put in the legwork to actually make it look good.
Yeah,
I
for
completely
sure.
agree.
And I
mean-
mean, yeah, for
ahead.
1987 too. Well, just 19. I was just gonna say 1987, and that was all. So.
Yeah, true. I mean, I would argue that this game looks, better than my beloved Metroid. It is a really
Ooh,
listen.
Metroid.
You know how much I love Metroid, but it's all dark and dank. I think they get away with a lot by basing most of it underground.
Yeah.
And
black
this,
backgrounds.
that's right. And this has got like a good amount of variation in scenery. Like every part of every level just kind of looks a bit different. Like they really made the effort here, and the enemies are all pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
I'm now fully in love with the Happy Dragons, which again I've only just noticed. Those are brilliant. But yeah, it's a creative looking game.
No, they did good with, again, the limited NES color palette and, graphical styles. They have to really optimize it, I guess you could say. But one thing I always loved is when a door appeared, it just appeared wherever the fuck it appeared. And it looked at a place so many times. And that was just so NES for me.
Well, just suddenly you beat a boss and a door just randomly appeared out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
like you're in the middle of the sky and a door shows up. And it doesn't fit with the environment. It's just there because they only had one sprite for the door.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is like, there was a boss. I think it was the first one, when I didn't know where to go, and I didn't use the guide all the time, but I was like, I'll just kind of explore around and see if I can find anything different. I ended up backtracking to where that boss was, and the door wasn't there, so I was like, oh, am I fucking stuck in here? So I just went where the door was, and it was still there. It was just not on the screen.
Nice.
So there's definitely some jank to this. Like it's not.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously it's going to be far from perfect, but I mean, there's some exploits and some weirdness for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, but I still love how it looks. And the music, holy crap, the music just surprised me.
Yeah.
I'm still jamming to the soundtrack.
Yeah, it is a good... And I kind of feel like a bit of an idiot for making this comparison twice in as many minutes. But again, the music made me think of Metroid as well. And that is only a good thing. Like, these were some jams.
Yeah, it just, that mountain song, like the second level you get into there, that still sits in my brain. I really like it.
I had it stuck in my head
Heroic
earlier
stuff.
today, and I couldn't remember what it was from either. I was just like, why is this song?
Oh, I
in my
hate
head?
when
And I was
that
like,
happens.
oh wait, that's just Rygar. I got it.
And it will stay with you forever.
Yes, it'll just randomly pop up, and I won't remember that it's Rygar.
That's going to drive you crazy.
It will. Although it does get a bit repetitive though when you're on like the overworld and stuff, where it's like, all right, there came a point when I was like, I'm good if I turn it off.
So I was trying to think of, there was something about one of the bosses that I saw online before I fought the boss, and it was the double-headed dragon.
Which one?
And
Yeah.
not Dragon Hands. Yeah, which one?
I'm
Fuck.
just kidding.
The second last boss called Death Pigger. It I got 2 heads and tiny arms. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
you could beat him by staying on the rope up to him, and all you did is throw your like disc shield or shield disc or gunblade at him, and
Could you really?
all you had to do is whenever the fire projectile came towards you, just climb all the way up, then climb down again, and repeat it, and you could beat him that way, like stupidly simple.
Yeah, I don't even remember that one. I think that was one that I beat pretty quickly without even.
Yeah,
really
I remember the
realizing that it was
level.
a boss. Yeah.
I remember getting
Yeah,
up to him, but I just, again, because I was so overpowered by that point, I just
Yeah, I was
went through.
I was watching ahead in a like a playthrough, because it only takes an hour to play this game, because I just wanted to get through it because I had stuff to do this weekend, and I saw that and I'm like, oh, that's simple enough, so I did it and I repeated it, and yeah, it's just it's dumb simple. Like, all the bosses on this weren't that hard. Like that spider, like, you think he'd be hard because he has that fucking web behind him? Doesn't use it.
Honestly, the fact that we haven't even mentioned him to this point, it's just like that. You just breeze through that guy.
It's
And
probably
that
the-
He's
Belzar
like
as
a
well.
normal
one, too.
enemy.
It's like that Belzar who was up on his little platform there throwing shit at you. I was just like, oh, how am I going to do? Oh, hang on. Yeah, grappling hook. And I got up there and just spanked him immediately.
Flush.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, I remember
it's-
that one. He was on a platform, wasn't he? And then that,
That's right.
I think that death pigger or whatever you call it, with the 2 heads. That one's, is that one in the tower? Like, I couldn't even remember.
Yeah, that one's up
Yeah.
that tower you have to climb
I
up.
might have been a little OP for that tower by the time I got there, because I was like running around trying to figure out where to go.
That was it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm looking at the wiki right now, or the guide or whatever. After the tremendous challenge that is the Tower of Garba, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I walked through that. I was a little too buff for that point. Too much tone.
That was the problem. Okay,
Spending too much
I
time
guess
with the
that would be
monks.
one of the downsides of this game, is that you level up so easily just by fighting that you get lost and you're pretty much way too powerful to play the game. Now, the only difficulty really is that you only get 1 life.
True.
There is no
Right.
like coming back at the beginning of the level. Like, you can hit start if you die and you kind of do a continue, but I don't think there's any penalties for restarting like that way. But it just seems like this game was designed for you to beat it,
Yeah, that's what
which
I wanted to
is
ask.
weird for this time, because most companies are like, I don't want the game to be beaten, so we're gonna make it super hard so you can't rent it.
So I was wondering if that's something like they would not have changed anything for the NSO release, right? Because you
No.
do more or
No.
less get infinite continues, and it will start you again. Like, say you're in a boss fight and you game over, like, you will literally start again in that boss fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start at the last door you entered.
yeah,
pretty cool.
exactly. So there is literally not even infinite continues, like infinite lives. I mean, it says game over, but it's really not.
Yeah, and
Now, I will tell you one thing. You can die talking to those gods on the pedestal because you can walk off the cliff.
exactly.
Really? And then what
Yeah,
happens?
nothing. You just
You
get
hit
back
start and you start again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, I even found that dying was a shortcut for like if I was, because I was trying to explore around and I would go back and retrace my steps and see if I could find everything or see if there was a different path that I didn't find. And instead of going all the way back to the left to get to the door, you could just die and it would just put you to the front of whatever that area was. And it's like, all right, then you just walk out the door and you're out of there. It's just
Well,
die is a shortcut.
I mean, I suppose it makes sense because
Yeah.
as Brian pointed out to us earlier on in the episode, like this guy's already dead. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, but I was looking through the manual and it did call that out too, where it's like, if you die, just press start and you can have as many tries as you want. And I don't really think that there were any other games doing that at the time.
No, but for a game that doesn't have passwords or a battery backup, that's kind of nice of them.
oh, it is
yeah,
very.
because
I
holy
appreciate
shit.
the hell out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Can you imagine the early game before you become overpowered that trying to stay alive in this and then having to redo the game from scratch every time?
Oh.
It would be unplayable.
No,
I mean, there are
yeah.
certain sections, especially that I can't remember what level it was, but with all the flying birds with the eggs and all that shit going on, it's just like,
Yep.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got
Like,
really
it
mad
is
at that.
borderline unfair, those sections. Like if I did not have infinite lives, like that might have been it for me.
That was the point where, as I was playing along, I was like, I really was charmed by this at the beginning, but as I play more and more and get deeper into it, I'm kind of starting to like it less and less. There was some fucking stupid shit that was pissing me off. Like a couple of those bosses were shitty. Some of the levels where shit was flying from all directions, and if you're using the pulley and having to rope yourself between two platforms, you are still completely fair game. So like there were some times when you were getting hit with stuff that was not avoidable at all, and that always sucks.
The enemy
Yeah.
placement when you're on those ropes is just ridiculous at times.
Well, it's kind of
Oh, yeah, sometimes. Fuck
just
them.
kind of randomly generated, right? Like as soon as you get on the rope, it's like something's gonna pinch you and drop something on you and you're dead.
Yeah.
That's where the rewind comes in, though. Like playing this game is definitely more enjoyable with save states and rewind, because if not, like you'd be sitting there for the long haul trying to struggle your way through it.
I mean, to be honest, as somebody who did just that, I didn't find myself struggling through it. Like just prop myself every once in a while just to like grind it out for a spell and get enough to heal myself every once in a while. And I was just like, you know what, like, this is entirely manageable.
Oh, exactly. But I mean, like having the save state or just a console that you could put to sleep and put it down and pick it up right where you left off is nice. To not have to do it all in one sitting. It's like otherwise.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Anyways.
Gone are the days where we used to, have time to do this. Let's put it that way.
Oh my god, true enough.
Do you guys want to do our wrap-ups? Because that way you can get out all your frustrations with the game. And honestly, it's not a long game, so we're going to end up circling the toilet here like we normally do on these shorter games. But you guys ready to wrap it up?
I'm okay with just a quick in and out and do the rest of my stuff.
Okay, so let Sam go first, and
good.
I'm going to go make a full gourmet meal as he takes only what he calls 2 minutes.
Go fuck yourself. I don't know. I already said that I definitely liked it less as I went on, and I'm going to stick by that. It definitely starts out more charming than it ends up being, because I think that, I appreciate that they took a game and instead of doing just like a straight arcade port, they added some things. Obviously, we mentioned there's some top-down elements and some exploration and all that, and some Rygarvania, which is going to be the new term now. Some of the glitchiness was weird. I was probably not powered up enough for the last boss, so the last boss gave me trouble because you really do have to just kind of stand there in the pocket and take your hits and heal, because the way that it shoots projectiles is completely fucking random. it was just real hard to avoid. But overall, like I think for a game that I'd never heard of before and trying this, is there an alternate universe where we got like a Rygar franchise instead of like Zelda? Because this game really did some fun stuff for the time that it came out in 1987. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. Who knows?
There's a Rygar on PS2, by the way.
Oh,
no shit.
snap.
Well, we're gonna find that and play it. But yeah, no, I mean, but not a full blown franchise. Like we didn't get like, this isn't like the Zelda of anything. It's just kind of a one and done, aside from I guess a weird PS2 game. But yeah, I don't know. If you're curious about it, you've been on the fence about playing it, I'd say just give it a try. It's definitely does more than you think it does for a, just kind of side scrolling action platformer. And yeah, it's a decent time. It's definitely got some weird jank, and the bosses all are kind of just different packaging of the same thing, but it's fun. I'm gonna give it a 6. Which isn't a bad score.
Not a bad score.
It's not bad.
No, 6 is a good score. It's about 50%.
It's not blowing my socks off. It's an old game. But,
yeah, exactly.
It's more fun than it has any right to be, I'd say.
Yeah, if you have NSO, play it, but don't run out to the retro store to buy it. I get it. That's what a 6 is.
Yeah, that's what a 6 is, exactly.
But what is it for you, Alan? Wrap it up.
I'll be honest, like, for a game that I originally thought was Rastan, which is something that I've been meaning to play for the longest time, I was just like, I'd never heard of Rygar before. And I had no idea what to expect going into this one. But, I like to keep an open mind in these things. And, it's always good to see what was going on the NES. Because, I never had one as a kid. So I love finding these weird niche titles that I otherwise would never had a chance to play. And this, I got to tell you, I really enjoyed this game. I mean, quite aside from the fact that it looks great, it sounds awesome. It's not just your bog standard left to right action platformer. There is a little bit going on. There is the RPG, the sort of Metroidvania aspect to it, or fucking Rygarvania aspect to it, which obviously I really appreciate. There was some of that NES jank sometimes with the controls. I found that sometimes where the game thought you were falling off, especially in the overworld, I fell off into the sea a couple of times, and I was just like, it's a bit bullshit, really. And some of the stuff that Sam was saying there with, like, getting hit during boss fights, but it has some of that NES jank, but it mitigates it by just being really fair with what it lets you do, like the leveling up, the basically infinite lives. So it's, I don't know, it's not baby's first action platformer or Metroidvania, but I think it does both reasonably well, and it's just fun. It's just a really fun little game. I like the variation in all the different areas that you go to. I like all the different items that you can use. The bosses are kind of fun. I mean, yeah, some of them are just sort of almost straight up palette swaps, but I don't mind that, they had to cut back somewhere. I am definitely 100% going to play this again. I mean, I'd recommend this to anyone. If you've got a spare couple of hours, and it really is only, an hour or two to play through if you know what you're doing. It's a nice, quick, and relatively easy win. I don't know. I think I'll give it about a 7.5. It's not the greatest game in the world, but it certainly surprised me. I really appreciate, Brian, I really appreciate you bringing this to my attention. I would never have played this in a million years otherwise.
Yeah, well, no problem. But that 7.5 is definitely, if you have money to burn at your retro store, pick a copy up, but otherwise play it on Switch Online.
Easily.
So,
I think we have categories for all of these ranges.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up pretty quick. I don't have much to add from what you guys said. I mean, you guys summed it up pretty eloquently here. Like I said, I had this game for the longest time. It's always been there. I've always known about it, but I've never played it before beyond like a few seconds. Just never been in the mood. So finally pushing myself to play it. You're right. Like, there's a really good game inside of this, and finding out that they actually took the time, instead of just an arcade port, to make almost a completely different game with the same elements. That was kind of neat. The music was fantastic in this game. I was impressed by the graphics for a 1987 Nintendo game. The Rygar Mania aspect of the game, I didn't even realize until I read that in a wiki, but yeah, it's right there. It's a really good game, and I really wish it got more accolades. Like, I'm currently staring at a video of the PS2 Rygar and just kind of seeing what it's about while you guys are wrapping up. I might actually hunt this game down. Like, it is a third-person action game, and you have more control over the shield, and it looks like they actually stuffed a nice story in there. So definitely something I'm going to look into, and it's all because we played this game. And I just wanted something that was short that could kind of give us a break after like a couple of long games, because we had Wind Waker and we have God of War coming up, Mass Effect and Warcraft 2. Those are going to be a little more time consuming. So this was a bit of a breather, and it turned out to be a really good experience. I'm going to go right in between you two. I'm going to be the ham in this Retrotopia sandwich, and I am going to go 6.5 on this.
Nice. And you know what you said?
Oh, and to quickly analogize that, it is like Sam, it is good if you have it on NSO, but if you see a copy, maybe pick it up and look at the box.
But
I
don't
think
buy
what you
it.
said there. I think what you said there is absolutely perfect as well, Brian, because this is kind of an ideal palate cleanser between bigger games. That is its niche, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we need that, because if we play too many big games, like we obviously only have the time we have outside of work and school. So having a game like this is really kind of a pleasure, because not only is it a short game, but it's a fun short game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
And it tickles or scratches the itch. Tickles your taint. It scratches the itch for like if you want a shorter, more manageable experience, but you still want to play like an RPG style game or an adventure game or whatever. Like, this is it. Nice
I didn't find the tickle my taint feature. Where was that?
Last couple of NES games that we played that we've never played before have like Crystalis there was pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
It's getting surprising, like all the games I missed as a kid.
I
there's
would
some
argue
real
like
good
Bionic
hidden
Commando
gems.
in there as well. I played that.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, there's
Contra,
tons of
I've never
yeah.
played before.
Yeah, there's hidden gems on the NES, like Shadow the Ninja I mentioned before. There's a good one too.
Yeah,
Roger Rabbit.
there's a couple. Yeah, couple that. Oh, Roger Rabbit, you hated
fuck
Roger
that
Rabbit.
game. It's so bad.
I love Roger Rabbit because I always played that as a kid, and I always loved those whodunit games, and you had to find like the stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Go listen to that episode if you really want to hear Sam's vitriol about it.
But yeah, I mean, what's our next NES game going to be? Because I'm excited now. Like, we're kind of 3 for 3 lately on some pretty fun ones that I hadn't heard of before. So
I don't think we have an NES game coming up in the next foreseeable future.
Well,
we
I'll
should
defer
add
to
one in the
the
next block.
I'll defer to the Nintendo.
Oh no, we have Mega
games.
Man 3 coming up.
Ooh.
Yeah, Mega Man 3 is coming up in the next block of 10.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Other
go.
than that, no. Everything else is Super Nintendo or better.
I don't think Mega Man 3 is going to be a surprise that it's good.
Yeah.
No, but it has to be compared to Mega Man 2.
Well,
Like, which is better, Mega Man who can slide or Mega Man who can't?
I don't know. I've never played number 3. I've only played 1 and 2, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's good because 1 was a failure, 2 was developed by the team on their own time, and 3 was the game that really Capcom got behind.
well,
I look
we
forward to
shall see.
that.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we don't have anything else left to say, so that's it for another episode of Retrotopia. If you don't know by now, I have been Brian with my good buddies Alan and Sam. Next week, we have God of War coming up, which I still got to get into and I got to play, so hopefully I can get enough of that to have a formulated opinion. Otherwise, I'll be sitting back and listening to you guys gush over the game.
Oh, gosh, we will.
Until next time, throw your disc shield. What a dumb name. That's that. I forgot to mention. That's such a dumb name. Until next time. Bye.
Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out the heroes at our hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Guy Who Does Things, Joe Frigger, Shadowblaze511, Dan Torma, Brian Heng, Sharkbite, Brian Spritzer, Ovindley, Shane's World, Brother Retro, H, Raging Demon, Old Man Gamer, Game Genius, Dylan Jacobson, The Big Deal, Mr. Blobbert Blobbertstein, King Hooley III, Calin Higas, Radmac, Fallen Snow Kiku, Stud Still Smash, Sergeant Ombre, Big Brown Dog, Jack Datchler, Unbuckled Cape, Wildcard, Super Dave, Sir Bustsalot, Big Kid 782, David Hendley, Chris Kaplane, J Nasty 15, Because 19, Randy Berridge, Makeshift Money, and Andrew Wright. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.